You think you know who you are. You think your kindness is fixed. Your cruelty, if you have any, is fixed too. But put you in the wrong room, hand you the wrong uniform, and give you 7 days. You would not recognize the person who walked out. This is not a guess. It happened. In 1971, a psychologist named Philip Zimbardo built a fake prison in the basement of Stanford University. He filled it with ordinary college students, screened for stability, and split them at random into guards and prisoners. Within 36 hours, one prisoner was sobbing, begging to be released. Within 6 days, the guards had grown so cruel that Zimbardo shut the study down. It was supposed to run 2 weeks. It barely lasted 1/4 of that. What happened in that basement? And why does it still explain how you behave at work, online, and at home more than 50 years later? Here is the uncomfortable answer. You are not as solid as you think. Your identity feels permanent because your environment rarely asks it to change. Change the environment, and the identity moves with it, faster than you would like to admit. Nobody in that basement had a criminal record. Nobody had a history of violence. On day 1, they were interchangeable. Then the roles took over. Guards were given mirrored sunglasses, batons, and almost no rules beyond keep order. Prisoners were stripped of their names and given numbers. By day 2, guards were inventing degrading punishments nobody asked them to invent. The uniform did the work the person never would have. This was not an isolated finding. A decade earlier, a psychologist named Stanley Milgram asked ordinary volunteers at Yale to deliver what they believed were painful electric shocks. Simply because a man in a lab coat told them to continue, most obeyed, far past the point of visible distress. They were not cruel people. They were regular people answering to authority. A third study makes the pattern impossible to ignore. In 1954, researcher Muzaffar Sharif split ordinary 11-year-old boys into 2 teams at a summer camp. Within days, over nothing more than games and limited resources, the boys turned genuinely hostile toward each other. No trouble history, no warning signs. Just an us and a them, and the hostility followed like a switch had been flipped. None of these studies needed evil people. They needed roles, structure, and permission. That is the entire recipe. Why would your brain be built this way? Because for most of human history, your position in the group decided whether you survived. Exile from an ancestral band usually meant starvation or worse within weeks. So your brain evolved a fast, automatic system for reading the social terrain. Who has power? Who is watching? What does this role require of me right now? That system never got an upgrade for offices or comment sections. It just gets triggered by whatever structure you're placed inside. Give it a uniform and unchecked authority, and it produces a guard. Give it a rival team, and it produces hostility. The hardware is ancient. The costume just changes. You already live inside versions of this every day. Watch how differently you act the moment you put on a work badge or a job title. Watch how quickly anonymity online turns a normally polite person cold, the same way mirrored sunglasses turn Zimbardo's guards cold within hours. This does not mean you have no self. It means your self is more responsive to context than it feels from the inside. The guards who behaved worst were the ones who fully accepted the role without question. The ones who behaved best kept a quiet, private awareness. This is a role, not the whole truth of who I am. That small gap is where resistance actually lives. You think you know who you are. Maybe you do on an ordinary day in an ordinary room. But identity was never as fixed as it felt. It was always a negotiation between the person you were born as and the room you happen to be standing in. Change the room, and you may be surprised by who walks out. For more psychological content like this, like and subscribe to my channel.